As time and a minute, just peace through down my enemy. And what about you? Things are now in motion. You do not know pain, you do not know feel. I'm gonna. Just time and a minute. You do not know feel. What about in a minute? Lose 500. We do not stop riding. When you mean just Tetris. Just time and a minute. Just peace through down my enemy. Lose 500. We do not stop riding. Have not. They're dead. What about fear? You do not find good men right. Very watched out. Have not. They're dead. Just time and a minute. You do not find. You do not know. What about in a minute? Have got. What about things are now in motion. We do not. You do not know pain. You do not know. I'm gonna. Just Tetris. As time and a minute. Just peace through down my enemy. And what about things are now in motion? You do not know pain, you do not know feel. I'm gonna. Just time and a minute. You do not find. You do not know. What about in a minute? Lose 500. We do not stop riding. When you mean just Tetris. Just time and a minute. You do not find. Just peace through down my enemy. Lose 500. We do not stop riding.
What, seriously, it was only a year not sure how that sound is, but we'll let it go for now. Seems like it's better. Alright, so where do we leave off? We've got our bill of Damascus that we made earlier on today. Now we can go ahead and trim this up. Cut it in half. So we can measure it. So just looking to find where any inclusions are towards the very end of that billet. So that's getting trimmed. You know what? Before I measure this out, let's go ahead and get the fire started. Gotta make sure to put my lighter on top of the sample as a second. Ever since I quit smoking, I never know where a damn lighter is. It's really weird. Alright, got the monitor adjusted. Pull this up on the screen quick. Because, you know, if somebody says hello, I'd like to be able to see it. Check. Okay. Oh, it's there. It's not perfect. Alright, well, let's get this show on the road. Yeah, it definitely sounds a little muffled. Is that why? Let's try that. Okay, well, a little better. Just weird. I don't have these issues on my Mac, but on the PC, it's nothing but issue after issue. Why is that? Other people notice that too? I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only guy out there with a Mac and a PC. Actually, I have like 4 Macs, 2 iPads, and an iPhone, and 1 PC. So maybe I'm not the best to judge PC issues because I don't do Windows. Except for here in the shop, apparently. Now, before that becomes an issue, just gotta pop that microphone on. Okay, now the microphone's back on. I apologize. During the last broadcast, the last stream, I actually had music being played by Unique. But of course, Twitch came back and said that, you know, there's copyright issues, even though I have permission to use it. So instead of getting this muted, I figured I'll just wait until we figure out that dispute, get everything resolved, and then we'll go ahead to putting music back when I need to mute things out. It's just annoying, especially because I know there's someone actually trying to enforce copyright on his work, even though they don't own it. And he's had that problem with YouTube channels before. So I've got an email out to him. We'll see what happens. Ironically, YouTube has pulled no such thing, and the exact same video was simulcast to YouTube. So, all right. Well, that really sucks. Sorry, guys, I did not mean to grab that microphone with my ground wire. It's just a shotgun mic pointed up here. And these thick leads that kind of have a mind of their own. Okay, close your eyes, guys. This stuff's great. Just tap. Good enough. I'm hoping this is relatively quick tonight. It's not that I'm tired, but I'm a little tired. earlier on in the day, it was about 95 degrees in here while we were working and did almost a 4-hour live stream. So it was definitely it's a little taxing. You know, someone who's going to sleep well tonight, that's for sure. So again, we're at 36 layers on each piece. So 36 plus 36 is 72 plus our center core now that we're doing 1095. So sorry, 72. Yeah, 73 layers. Oh boy, that math stuff just doesn't work. Just a few more minutes. Then what we're looking for is a uniform color. Just not quite there yet. So last stream I ended up in a huge delay on here, so I decided this time I was actually going to watch it through my NDI monitor. So we'll see how that works. Unfortunately, because I have the NDI monitor up full screen, I'm not going to be able to tell if somebody pops in or not. Unless, of course, you just say something in the chat window. Of course, that's kind of right. That's working. So I'm going to set our welds with the rolling mill here. guys can't see this on camera, but it's like I have a computer standing out underneath my tree stand on the shop. Definitely a good night for it. Although I will say I haven't been seeing as many deer this summer as I did at the exact same time last summer, so. So it doesn't seem like much. We've only got built this essentially 1¼ inches by 4 inches, probably about 3/8 of an inch. But that's actually going to work out perfect for what I have in mind. Just waiting for that to come up to heat. Power hammer on. Turn around. The other side. I never did change the name of this street, did I? How silly of me. Of course, you can't read it. really don't remember where that is. I guess I'll change it under Twitch. Alright, so we almost have a nice uniform and solid building. And of course, the camera goes off. Wait, a little last inch there. Let's go up color. it dramatically under the power hammer. You can't start. It's just not hot enough. We've definitely got all of our welds set. It's looking good. Hold it down like this. Really only want to take this down to about a little less than a quarter of an inch, between quarter of an inch and 3/16. Pardon me a second, I'm going to step outside here. It's not horrible, but it's still 90 degrees outside. Cool. Now I just want to pull it uniform and be able to stretch this out and start pulling our blade. And actually, while that's heating up, I'm gonna take a quick 5-minute break. I gotta put the ducks inside for the evening. So I'll be right back, guys.
Just time. In a minute. You do not know. What about in a minute? as time and a minute just leads through down my enemy. And what about you? Things are now in mush. You do not know pain, you do not know you. I'm gonna.
Alright, now you are safely away. I don't know how, but I have this one duck who is a definite Houdini. Regardless of how you lock them up, they'll escape. That is really nice and consistent. When we're dealing with laminated steels, such as Sandmine or Damascus, you know, our temperatures become really, really critical. You hit it while it's too hot, it can actually more easily shear. And you hit it while it's too cold, it can also shear. So you gotta find that sweet spot. Well, it's not even as late as it was yesterday, but I'm really feeling it today after that early afternoon session. we're just pulling this whole belt down under the rolling mill, just straight down to a nice, consistent thickness. But the way we're making this steel, I almost just want to forge it into an outline and do a lot more stock removal as far as the flats and the metals go. Mainly because I really want to be able to control how far up that Damascus starts on the CMI effect. And I can, if I don't forge that material down, if I'm grinding it away, well then I can control the exposure on it. I can tell I'm getting tired just by my nicotine requirement. It's like some people get grouchy when they're tired. I used to start chain smoking. 2.5, maybe 3 inches. So I want to address that before we go any further. You're wondering why I'm hiding over here in the corner. Yeah. Look up at one of the top cameras. You'll notice this giant 3-foot fan behind me. Just feels wonderful. Look, you can kind of see my hand. Perfect. Nice length on it. So where I was thinking about going with this, I've been using a 7-inch utility knife an awful lot in the kitchen. I don't know why, I just kind of started preferring that over, my 8 or 10-inch chef's knife. I realized that I hadn't made one like that in a long time. Just want to straighten it out first. Always remember to tap and look, tap and look. Now before this gets too far out of hand, I'm going to take this and cut it while it's hot. Just the very end there where I get those welts to start off with. So I trim that off. Now, at the end of the tag there, I don't really care so much. That's going to get hit on the grinders when I do a lot of the refining. However, you'll notice I did not cut that at a straight line. I'm cheating a little bit. See if we can get a good view of this camera. I think we did. There's really no such thing as cheating. It's just about making your job easier. I think half the time that people on forums, start yelling at people about like they're cheating, they're not doing it right. it's really just because they didn't think about it first. Well, it made it the hour mark. Just starting to appreciate this out. What I'm working on right now is actually the spine of the blade, or will become the spine of the blade. Not this Friday, but next Friday, we're going to be launching something called tabletops and anvils. My D&D group from high school, we've been playing a lot online using a system called Roll20. And so we're going to be live streaming right here on this channel, not this Friday, but next Friday. So that's a really nice free shape right there. But unfortunately, it's so a little thick towards the tip. So I'm going to run this under the power hammer. Just going to bring it down uniform in size. And then I'm going to, like last minute, I'm just going to pull a quick distal paper out on there. Look at that. It's actually kind of hooked down, almost like a hawk's beak or a hawk's bill. But that's real simple to straighten out on the anvil. next I'm gonna hammer out our handle. It's gonna make the tag portion of the knife. Hey there, Ferris Fire. How you doing? Apparently Jeff Killian's watching too. I didn't realize that. But I didn't see a message from you either, Jeff, so it's not my fault. Well, glad to hear you're doing well. Personally, I'm sweating my balls off. So I'm just going to figure out what all is going to be handle material. I like to go a little longer when I'm doing culinary knives. So I'm putting a notch in here, and it's really just to tell me where the blade starts and the handle stops. So. It's a really good reference point. Man, my clothes are just sticking me today. This is the wrong streaming service, but you know, I could easily do this naked. I'm kidding, I would never do that to you guys. Wait, just be opening yourself up to a whole world of hurt. Hey, it's bad enough when I get a whole length of scale hit me on the arm. I am a firm believer in hit it 100 times the way that you want to instead of 1,000 times incorrectly. It's all about working smarter, not harder. Yeah, it definitely appears as though YouTube is the place for us to get comments from. It's being simulcast on Twitch, and everybody, I guess, is too busy watching video games to care about forging. That's okay, though. We're hitting both markets. Just gonna clean that tag up. Before I go any further, I'm going to actually heat this up one more time. I'm going to go under the power hammer with it. The nice thing about the power hammer is it always hits consistently. Unlike me, you know, when I get tired, sometimes I get sloppy, I get careless when I'm throwing that hammer around. And the power hammer doesn't care about tired. You know, it always hits the exact same way every single time. And so when you're trying to make things very consistent to, you know, essentially not have to make yourself work harder later on, boy, that power hammer really makes a difference. Under the hammer we go. You'll notice I wasn't hitting that with reckless abandon. Just to get that tang shaped out the way that I want it. Now we're going to come in and we're going to start doing our bevel. Quite frankly, once the bevel's done, you just got to straighten it up and let it cool down. As a matter of fact, I'll probably end up putting it in the even heat oven and running it in annealing cycle. That way tomorrow I can actually drill some holes through it without breaking drills. Hold that bevel. Again, because you know, this is Damascus, it's essentially a Damascus clad AMI. I really don't want to forge this down as much as I normally forge down a regular knife. I'm going to give it one more beveling pass, and then I'm going to hit it on the powder hammer just to pull a little bit of additional paper out, straighten it up, and that's about it for tonight, guys. I'm not telling you to leave. I'm telling you to ask any questions that you want to ask. Do it now. Common answers are yes, I'm still running classes. And we do have a Patreon page. I just don't know the URL off the top of my head. nice bevel on both sides there. This was not a commission piece. So unless between now and the time that I finish it, somebody sends me a private message or a direct message and says, hey, I'm interested in that piece. I think I know someone that this should go to. But I'm not going to say anything just in case certain other people are watching. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. I just want to do a mild correction on the opposite side of the bevel. Mainly because I'm right-handed, so I hit the left-hand side of the knife consistently. So I'm actually going to flip it over, and I really only have to be really delicate with the right-hand side. All I want to do is move that. Currently, it's just a little bit off the center, so I just want to nudge it back to center. Yeah, I believe that's what they call it, good enough for government work. Okay, I'm just a little thick here on the back part of the tang, but that's literally just a trip under the power hammer, and then probably straighten out because when you look at where it's actually thick, when that portion thins down, it's gonna end up stretching out because we're not subtracting anything. It doesn't have anywhere else to go, so it's gonna end up elongating that edge. Harrison should have been here a few hours ago during the first broadcast. There's like 175 messages being thrown around in 3 hours. Which, quite frankly, is essentially about a message a minute. In the past hour and 20 minutes, you're the only one to send a message, so I know there's other people watching on YouTube and also on Twitch, but nobody's talking. that. Just gonna bring it up to about 1200 degrees. And normally I don't do this, but I'm gonna run it under the power hammer at that really low temperature. All I'm trying to do is just straighten something out. And that's just so it doesn't annoy the hell out of me later on. A little hotter than I wanted, but I'll just have to go a little easier. That's all true. That's it. Done and done. We'll just check the back end of this tank really quick. Just the slightest though. There we go. So that's it as far as forging goes tonight. The rest is just going to be grinding. And tomorrow we'll get into the heat treat. But quite frankly, I'd rather just let that cool down. I mean, actually, I'll end up throwing it in the even heat, running an annealing cycle. Oh. And of course, that camera timed out. So I think our the highest tier on Patreon, I think we're gonna start doing a monthly drawing amongst that tier, and you can win one of the knives that I'm actually forging out live here during the feeds. All right, well, believe it or not, it's too hot. I'm on my beer number 3 in an hour and a half. That's half an hour of beer, and I'm halfway through this one, and it's starting to get a little bit too warm. Quite frankly, I need a cold bottle of water, and I think it's time to call it a night. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Appreciate every single one of you being here. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, just leave them below. Follow us on Twitch. That's where I prefer you to follow us, mainly because it's easier for us to monetize everything. I mean, YouTube wants 3,000 followers, Twitch wants 50. So, yeah, that's just the way it is. But, I'm not quite sure what the schedule is going to be, but I probably will be forging something at some point tomorrow. And if not, I'll probably be broadcasting a portion of our classes for this weekend. So, good night, guys. Stay safe. Look forward to hearing from you, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
And the finding and the ring were one. Damascus, the ring he was never and the finding and the ring were one. The ring. Tetris, as time and a minute. Just ease through down my enemy. Blues 500. We do not stop riding. What about video?
Good man, right? Great watchtower.
Have not. What about video?
Good man, right? Great watchtower.
Have not. Blues 500.
We do not stop riding. What do you mean?
Blues 500.
We do not stop riding. What do you mean?
What about video?
Good man, right? Great watchtower.
Have not. What about video?
Good man, right? Great watchtower.
Have not. Just time and a minute. What about and a minute? Have got what about things are now in mush. We do not know pain. Do not know Tetris as time and a minute. Just